he's in here.
If you like to talk about combat sports and you want to join the discussion, click the subscribe button below and the bell notification icon next to it and join Knucklehead Nation. What's going on, Knuckleheads? Welcome to our UFC 249 post-fight show. Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje, and these are the results and our reaction, and this is our live forum, and holy shit, man. What an incredible night of fights from Jacksonville, Florida. UFC 249, in my opinion, was such a well-matched card. Such a fantastic card. My goodness. I mean, you know, being a kickboxing promotion and being a huge fan of kickboxing, you know, I never expect this sort of level of action from the UFC, but my goodness, this was absolutely insane. I don't even know where to begin. Let's kind of start at the beginning and work our way through. And we could start, I guess, in the main card and talk about some of the other cards. Let's talk about the last card on the prelims, where we had Anthony Pettis beat Donald Cerrone. You know, great fight. That was a great fight, very close fight. A lot of people think Donald Cerrone should have won that fight. I thought it was a close fight. All these fights were great. I mean, I think, though, even though I want to talk about all the other fights, I mean, Justin Gaethje, man, this should be called the I Told You So podcast. This should be called the I Told You So podcast, because if you guys tuned in on Monday and if you tuned in on Wednesday, you heard me predict Justin Gaethje to win this fight by either a stoppage or a late decision. I thought it would be a close fight, but Justin Gaethje to win in the fashion that he did was a surprise to me, but I did pick Justin to win. I also picked Cejudo to win. I thought Dominic Cruz was on too long of a layoff, and let's talk about that Gaethje fight, man. Just absolutely battered and destroyed Tony Ferguson in there tonight. You know, fuck, man. Big Money is in here. Big shout out, Big Money. Thank you so much for joining the show, brother. Much love to you. Love over narcissism, my brother Jay. Thank you for being in here. Neil the Security, salute to you, brother. Thank you for being in here. Tony Ferguson got his ass whooped, says Big Money. And, you know, with all due respect to Tony Ferguson did get his ass whooped in this fight. Justin Gaethje, you know, like I said, you know, I was looking at this fight as objectively as possible, right? I'm not a fanboy. I watch these fights because I'm entertained by them. Ferguson's just a little too slow, man. I just felt like he couldn't deal with the athleticism, the explosiveness, and the pressure of Justin Gaethje. I felt like he wasn't as active as Gaethje has been. I felt like he's older. I felt like he's coming off that big surgery. And as tough as he is, man, and he showed an iron chin, he just, you know, he has not dealt with a style. I said it over and over again. He's not dealt with a style like Gaethje that just comes forward like a buzzsaw, throws power shots, throws leg kicks, and just, you know, is explosive and is just going to try to hunt you down like that. And, you know, I've seen Ferguson hurt by Anthony Pettis. I've seen Ferguson hurt by Lando Venata. And I said to myself, man, if those guys can hurt Ferguson, Gaethje sure as hell with that one-hitter quitter he's got it in every hand, you know, in both hands and both legs, basically. You know, with that one-hitter quitter Justin Gaethje's got, man, it's just... it was too much, man. The guy's just too much, man. Justin Gaethje is just, he's a fucking Terminator, man. He's the closest thing to a Terminator that you're ever going to get to in your life. You know, that pressure, the leg kicks, The power shots. He doesn't really get tired. He showed, typically he comes forward like a buzzsaw and doesn't get tired. Now that he's got some patience with fantastic coaching from Trevor Whitman, who's completely changed him, and that's something I mentioned in my prediction, he's become much more intelligent. He's become much better about picking his shots. By the way, Gascon or Salud or Slanche or whatever you say to all my brothers and sisters out there. We got whiskey in the house tonight. Cali whiskey. Then that Cali whiskey's good. He's like my boy Jay at Love Over Narcissism is saying, he's patient. He picks his shots. And that's something he's been doing in the past couple fights. We saw that in the Cowboy Cerrone fight. Patient. Picking his shots. So now you've got a guy who's as tough as the Terminator, who has unlimited, basically, cardio and tenacity, who's got power in both hands, who's got ridiculous takedown defense, to the point where nobody's even tried taking him down, really. And now he's smart and he's patient. It's just, he's just an overwhelming problem, man. He's just an overwhelming problem. And that white boy got hands like a mofo, says Big Money. And you are right about that, Big Money. That fucker has got some hands on him. How did you know that? I just knew that, man. I just knew that. I saw it from a mile away, man. I just you grow up, you're playing sports, and that's the advantage I think that guys who've played other sports and trained a little bit in combat sports or competed in combat sports have. Especially when you're from, I'm a South Florida boy, man. I'm used to athletes, I grew up watching athletes, man. Like, everybody could dunk, everybody was fast. Like, I knew athletes, I knew what they looked like, and at the same time, I knew when somebody wasn't an athlete, and I just felt like Gaethje was just too much of an athlete for Tony Ferguson. And when you combine all his attributes, I just felt like it was too much, man. It was too much. Edgar Barbary in the chat. What up, my brothers? If you guys don't know, give him a follow. Check him out on Instagram. Edgar Barbary, one of the best heavyweight strikers in California. A FightersRep veteran. I look forward to continuing to push him. He says, made that shit look easy as fuck. And he did, man. He made it look easy. Of course, there was a rocky moment in the second round when he got caught with a big uppercut at the end of the fight. But, regardless of that, I mean, Gaethje kind of just bounced back up. He was hurt, but he bounced back up. My takeaway at the end of the fight was, it was the fifth round. Tony Ferguson had been hit with everything but the kitchen sink, and I said to myself, this guy's made out of, fucking titanium, man. Actually, Chad George, we were texting back and forth, and he said, is this guy a mutant? I said, bro, he's got Wolverine's skeleton for sure. I mean, what is this guy? What is this guy made out of? Justin Gaethje has knocked people spark out with one of those shots before. The fact that he couldn't put he couldn't put Tony away until the fifth round like that, man, is a real testament to Tony Ferguson's chin. But one of my big takeaways at the end of the fight was, man, Tony Ferguson got hit with a jab at the end of the fight. I don't know if you guys noticed. He got hit with a jab, and he just absorbed so much damage that when that jab landed flush, his body just short-circuited. I don't know if you guys saw that. I mean, that was the ultimate, manifestation of attrition in a fight. I mean, that was the personification right there of attrition. The guy got hit with a jab and started wobbling and shaking his head. That's it. His brain fucking short-circuited from all the shots he took. And, when Herb Dean stopped it, I didn't hear any kind of argument like there was when the Dominic Cruz fight was stopped. I didn't even hear an argument. I mean, that was a great stoppage by Herb Dean. You know, you got to give Herb Dean credit for that stoppage. You know, that was a fantastic stoppage. And it worried me. It worried me, you know, to see a guy take that much punishment, right? And I look at it as an empath, you know. Shout out to my boy Jay with the Love Over Narcissism channel. He talks about empaths and sociopaths and narcissists and whatnot. Definitely give him a follow and check it out. But I'm an empath, man. And when I saw him take that shot and when I saw him wobble around like that, I was like, my sister-in-law was there, you know, my lady was there. I said, man, I stood up. I said, stop this shit, man. Just stop this shit. Just stop this fucking fight, man, because this guy's going to die, bro. This guy's going to die. He's willing to fucking die in there. And as much respect as I have for that mentality, you know, you got to save these people from themselves sometimes. And I'm really glad that Herb Dean stepped in and stopped that fight, because when you've taken that many shots and then a jab connects, and yeah, it was a hard jab, but it's at the end of the day, it's still a jab. When a jab connects and starts doing that to your body, man, you know it's time. You know it's time to end that fight. By the way, shout out to Cali Whiskey, our sponsor. You can check them out in the link below. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it. Join Knucklehead Nation, brother. Man, that Cali Whiskey's good shit. Let's see here. Big Money says, that was my first time seeing Gaethje fight, bro. Big Money. If I had to hire a hitman, it would be fucking Justin Gaethje, man. And I would just send him in. I'd be like, fuck it, you don't need a gun. You don't need a bat. Just go. Just go, man. That guy's a fucking killer, man. I can watch Justin Gaethje fight all day, every day, man. The guy's a fucking animal. Love Over Narcissism. He was patient, though, and picked the shots very nicely. This was a different level Gaethje. You know, Jay, he's been like that the past couple fights, man. I brought it up in my prediction on Monday. By the way, shout out to me, Marco Martinez. You're in the chat, my brother. I picked all these fights right. I'm not saying it happens all the time. But I picked Cejudo. I picked Ngannou, which was another. What Ngannou did to Rosenstrike today was crazy, man. That was crazy what Ngannou did to Rosenstrike. I mean, he just rushed him and in 10 seconds ended the fight. And he killed him on the first shot. The 3 or 4 shots that landed afterwards were totally extra, because when that first shot landed flush, that's another guy. That's the heavyweight Justin Gaethje right there. He lands anything on you, Francis Ngannou, you are fucking dead. And the 11th commandment that's going to be written is going to be written into a Bible somewhere is going to be, and forgive the blasphemy, but it's hyperbole, is going to be that thou shalt not call out Francis Ngannou. And he said, it was hilarious afterwards, he says, I knew when he called me out, I knew he didn't know what he was doing. And my God, I bet you nobody's going to be calling out Francis Ngannou anymore, because that guy, bro, I don't even know, man. Mr. Sooner, my brother. What's up, my man? Thank you for being in here. Hey, if you guys haven't already, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it. Man. What an evening of fights. Love Over Narcissism says the jab of Gaethje had some serious pop behind it. And that's another scary thing. They were mentioning he doesn't throw jabs. He threw jabs in this fight. Trevor Whitman deserves all the credit in the universe for his coaching and for the way he's turned Justin Gaethje into an absolute monster. It looks like Coach Krishna Kim is texting me. Coach Krishna, I hope you join this chat, brother. But, yeah, man, his jab has pop on it. His hooks got pop on him. And Jay, man, this guy typically knocks people out. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that Tony Ferguson's face is made out of iron, this shit would not have lasted. And he looks so good, man. Gaethje does. He looks so good, man. What a fight. My guy just lost. Justin stayed patient, threw bombs all night, says Fight Life Nation. I told you, my brother, you cannot fuck with Gaethje, man. And I thought it would be a close fight, but I knew Gaethje would pull it off, as I said in the prediction on Monday, because, man, he's just a different animal, man. He's got, and now now he's got some technique on his side. I mean, he's just a scary, scary guy, man. He's a scary guy. Thank you for the plug, brother. Yeah, that was hard to watch, man. If I was reffing that, I would have stopped it there too, says Love Over Narcissism's Jay Desmond, who, if you guys don't know, is also a promoter, owned a regulatory sanctioning body up in New York, still owns one, refereed a bunch of fights, and I agree with you 1,000%, Jay. Tony did not fight a smart fight, says Fight Life Nation. He was never going to outstrike Justin. He landed some big shots now. He did land that big uppercut in the second round. I mean, if he would have landed that a little bit earlier, maybe flurried on Gaethje, we could be talking about an early stoppage for Tony Ferguson. But, what was he going to do? What was he going to do? I mean, he decided not to take it to the ground. Obviously, people are either worried about Justin Gaethje's takedown defense, or maybe the leg kicks come so hard they're scared to change levels. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Imagine having a ton of weapons and using only one. Tony let me down. Mr. Sooner says, what's next for Tony Ferguson after this? He's still one of the best in the division. But that could have been combined with his inactivity and the surgery that he had recently come back from. That could have been a career-changing fight, the fight that he just fought. The beating he just took, and this is always something to look for, in a fight where a guy comes back from such a devastating loss. Because make no mistake of it, tonight's loss was devastating. Tonight's loss was absolutely devastating, not only mentally on Tony Ferguson, but physically. So we got to see how Tony Ferguson looks in his next fight. And the UFC is not going to give him a tomato can. I mean, they're notorious for their matchmaking. I mean, look at this card tonight. It was filled with pick'em fights. So what's next for him? I don't know. But I'm anxious to see how he even looks after taking such a horrific beating. I mean, think about it. He took such a beating that at the end of the fight, a jab scrambled his brain. How many flush shots did this guy take this evening? And will that stay with him at the age of, 35, 36, whatever he's at now? These were the red flags that I was putting up on my preview. He's older than Gaethje. He's closer to 40. He's past his mid-30s already. He's come back from a serious LCL tear, I believe it was. And he just got wrecked in there, and as much as I respect him, and I hate saying that, I mean, he got destroyed in there. And he took more punishment in that fight. I mean, the broadcasters were jokingly, but seriously, saying that this may be the most damage. These may be the most fight-ending shots a guy has taken in one fight. And it's hard to disagree with that. I mean, could you imagine, being on the receiving end of those punches from Justin Gaethje all night long? And at one point, I think it was in the second, third round, I was watching, and he was still walking through those punches, and I said to myself, fuck, Justin Gaethje's putting everything on these shots, and Tony's just walking through them. Justin Gaethje must feel like he's in a dream. When you're in a dream and you're throwing punches at somebody and you can't hurt them, you have like pillow fists, and as hard as you swing, in your dreams, as hard as you swing, it's like sprinting. You can't run in your dream either. As hard as you sprint or as hard as you swing in your dream, it doesn't, have an effect. And I felt like, man, fucking Gaethje must feel like he's in a dream right now. But eventually, man, that shit added up. So, my point is, Mr. Sooner, that I don't know where he goes from here, man. We got to see what he looks like in the next fight. That's going to be the barometer, because that's not normal, man, for a human being to take that kind of punishment. I don't care how tough you are, man. And he was tough. He was incredibly tough. But his chin broke. It was like in the third round, fourth round, his chin started to break, despite the fact that Trevor Whitman told Justin Gaethje, take some steam off these punches, man, because he was probably worried his guy was going to run out of energy. He told him, take some steam off these punches, hold back on these punches a little bit. Just land the clean shots. Only throw them hard when you feel like you could connect for sure. Despite that, the damage, the accumulations cracked his chin open, man, and he started really having a hard time taking those shots. We saw him wobbled in there, several times. That's something to look for. How he looks in his next fight is something really to look for. And I hope he's okay, if I'm being honest with you guys. I'm really hoping that, they take him to the hospital tonight, check him out, and make sure he's okay, because that was as vicious of a beating as I've ever seen in the octagon. The only thing I've ever seen as, close to that or on that level that I could think of off the top of my head was when Max Holloway beat the dog shit out of Brian Ortega, who, again, a guy, I got a lot of love for and I respect, but too tough for his own good, and nobody stopped the fight, and he took a lot of damage, and we haven't really seen him since then. That Francis Ngannou fight was frightening, says Love Over Narcissism. Dude, absolutely. Absolutely, man. Ngannou just, there was like a 9-second feeling out process. He caught a couple leg kicks and he says, fuck this. I'm going to show this guy what happens when you call me out. And he just rushed that Rosenstrike. Didn't give him a chance to do anything. He tried landing some counters as Ngannou rushed in. He got caught with one of those. Do you see? The thing is, Francis Ngannou's bone structure, his frame, bro, his forearms are like 5 feet long. I mean, do you know what kind of leverage he's getting on those punches? Plus, his fists are like as big as somebody's fucking head. Okay? I don't know if you guys notice his hands and the gloves. They're massive. I mean, and then he's got a ton of torque. It's 260 pounds, 6'4", all muscle. I mean, how are you 260, 6'4", 6'5", whatever you are, and you got abs? The guy's just... Love Over Narcissism. Jay says he's the heavyweight version of Rumble Johnson. That's absolutely right. He's more terrifying than Rumble Johnson. Neil the Security says anywhere else Ngannou would be charged with attempted murder. He has a hell of a job. My goodness, man, that guy is terrifying. Tony is going to regret his fight strategy for this fight. But he never changed it. By the way, there are a few of you in here at this point. Hit that like button. Show some love. Give me some engagement, people. Also, if you feel like donating to the channel or purchasing in the links below a FightersRep t-shirt, anything you guys donate or purchase below, gets reinvested right back into the promotion. We're the only pro kickboxing promotion in the state of California. So when you do that, you help me build up these young, amazing fighters we've got going on. And as soon as CSAC tells us we can have events in California again, you better be damn sure that we're going to have some fantastic kickboxing events for you. Thank you for smashing the like button, guys. Keep smashing the like button. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Tony's going to regret his fight strategy. Edgar Barbary says, what about Luke's elbow, though? That shit was sick or slick. Luke K's elbow. Are you talking about Kelvin Caters? Or are you talking about the Luque versus Nico Price? I mean, which both fights were fucking sick too, man. And by the way, I picked Cater too. You guys gotta show me some respect and take me to the sportsbook next time you guys go to Vegas. Just get me a room, buy me a few drinks, give me your money, and I'll take care of the rest for you. Fight Life Nation says Cejudo deserves nothing but credit. I wish he would take on the top contenders, but I understand that it is a business. And he retired after the fight. He retired. But, I don't know what you mean by I wish he would take on the top contenders. He beat TJ Dillashaw, who was roided at the time. He beat Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. He beat Marlon Moraes. He beat Dominic Cruz. I mean, who's really left for the guy? The only guy who beat him, I guess, was Joseph Benavidez. But, now he's retired. And I can't really knock the guy. I mean, how do you knock Cejudo with all his accomplishments? He has the right to be retired. He's been doing this shit forever. He's probably burned out. I think he fought everybody that was put in front of him. I think he fought fantastic competition. And he shut down fantastic competition. The only fight of all of these fights that Cejudo had that was close was the Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson fight. The beginning of the Moraes fight was pretty close, but then he took over against a bigger guy. So Neil the Security says Cejudo is number one pound for pound, never tested dirty, and is still holding it down. And you know what? I can't disagree with that, man. With his accolades, he might just be the best combat sports athlete of all time, like he always says. And if you like him or love him or hate him, numbers don't lie, achievements don't lie. The guy is fantastic. Francis landed a lucky punch. Against a more balanced fighter, Francis would have been punished for falling so off balance. Big Money says he got his ass whooped the whole fight. He's talking about Tony Ferguson. Neil Security says it's weird because how does Alvarez beat Gaethje but Tony doesn't? Well, it's not weird. That was a different Gaethje. And Gaethje was winning that fight and, was not the strategic fighter that he is now. He's evolved. He's improved. And I bet you if he fights Alvarez again, he wins, man. He wins. He beats anybody in the division, and I'm really excited to see what he does against Khabib Nurmagomedov because who knows, man? Who knows what's going to happen there? I don't know. Maybe Khabib can't take him down and is forced to fight on the feet. I mean, it's a very, very interesting situation. Big Money says from start to finish, like he not even near on his level. Big Money, you right, bro. Big Money, you are talking big money. You are fucking right. Fight Life Nation says he landed the fourth punch of a wild fury, serious power. But DC and Stipe won't back straight up. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, if he keeps throwing those punches, eventually one will land, And it's not like Francis Ngannou was a slob on the feet. That was just his strategy against Rosenstruik. But it doesn't mean that he's not going to be able to, outbox Stipe or definitely a guy like Cormier. I mean, Cormier, I think, would right away try to take him down. But yeah, man, Ngannou can fight, man. Ngannou can fight on the feet. And if Stipe didn't wrestle him, Stipe would have probably gotten knocked out too. Neil the Security says it's hard to counter Ngannou mid-combo when your life... when your life is flashing before your eyes. Neil Security, fuck, bro. Could you guys imagine being in the octagon and Francis Ngannou is swarming you? Could you imagine you're in the octagon, right? And Francis Ngannou, big fucking ass, is swarming you with fists that look like fucking anvils out of a fucking Bugs Bunny cartoon. Come on, bro. No, I'd be shitting myself. Rosenstruik is a tough guy for calling him out, but that was fucking stupid. And he's got balls, but that was fucking a big fucking mistake. I mean, a guy, and Rosenstrike, man, undefeated. Let's not forget, undefeated in the heavyweight division, undefeated in MMA. A decorated kickboxing career, a guy from Suriname where they got so many amazing kickboxers and strikers. He probably thought, I can fuck Francis Ngannou up. Man, Ngannou is the real fucking deal. Excuse me. Cali whiskey. Hey, cheers to you guys for joining me on the chat, bro. I got much love to you guys. I hope you guys are drinking something too. Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And immediately after all the big fights, and thank God we finally had a big fight. Man, what a drought it's been. We also do fantastic interviews that we have all over the channel that you can watch. And we also air our own fights for free on YouTube. You can go back and watch highlights or the entire fights on our YouTube channel and see why I believe the unified rules of kickboxing here in California, as per the IKF, is the most exciting rules of engagement in the world. Let's see here. What else we got here? Fight Life Nation. Okay, so Love Over Narcissism says, Fight Life Nation, I do agree. Rosenstrike played himself by backing straight up. Deal to security, yeah. All right, reread that. Fight Life Nation says, super impressed by Bryce Mitchell and Luque. Both guys made the most of the fight. Man, fuck Luque. What Luque did to Nico Price was nasty, dude. Did you guys see Nico Price's eye? Man, Luque landed a monster left hook, like a mix overhand left hook on Nico Price's eye. And not only completely shut the eye, but tore open the top of the eyelid. So it's closed and this part is open. And it's just, I don't even know if he can open that eye anymore, man, or blink with that fucking eyelid anymore. That was vicious, man. That was brutal. And Luque's a beast, bro. Luque's a beast, and I love watching that guy fight. Every time that guy fights, every time Luque fights, he's in a fucking war, man. The whole card from top to bottom was awesome. Even the prelims were great, says Mr. Sooner. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, one fight that I got wrong tonight was the Yorgan de Castro fight versus Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy impressed me tonight. Greg Hardy looked good tonight, man. I didn't expect him to win that fight. I thought de Castro would win. I felt like de Castro, had he been in better shape, maybe he would have won that fight. He just wasn't active enough. But still, no excuses. Credit to Greg Hardy, man. He won that fight. He looked good. Tony is a warrior and deserves massive respect. He was trying for an elite wrestling style and took a fight with a great striker. No shame. So he says he was training for an elite wrestling style in Khabib Nurmagomedov. But I don't think that's the reason he lost, man. I just think, it was a bad style matchup. At least that's what I saw. What I saw transpired. Maybe it's a fluke win, but I doubt it, man. I mean, he had 5 rounds to try to adjust his plan to what Justin Gaethje was doing, and he just couldn't do it. Ngannou's fists are the size of a beach ball, says Love Over Narcissism. Mr. Sooner says at least Ferguson's face didn't look as bad as Joanna's head when it blew up like a basketball. Holy shit, you're right about that. But you know what? It still looked pretty fucking bad. And Joanna wasn't as hurt as Ferguson was. Ferguson, again, when I saw what that jab did to him, I said, man, somebody stop this shit. And luckily, it was almost like fucking telepathy I had with Herb Dean. He jumped in immediately after I said that out loud in my living room. I was like, somebody stop this fucking fight. And then he jumped in, man. So I was really happy about that. Raul Castillo, what up, my brother? Raul Castillo says, happy because Justin win. Was a great fight, man. And Edgar Barbary says Luque versus Price. Yeah, I mean, great fight. The other great elbow for this evening was Kelvin Kattar versus Jeremy Stevens. And that's another fight that, You're welcome. I picked correctly. Cater, man, is fucking amazing to watch with his boxing combos. He was lighting Jeremy Stevens up and finished him with an elbow on the inside, and it was fucking beautiful, man. Neil the Security says, DC versus Ngannou, if you had to drop $1,000, who you got? Right now, I got Ngannou. Right now, I got Ngannou because, again, these are similar factors that I looked at when I was assessing the Ferguson versus Gaethje fight. We've got a guy in DC who's over 40 or 40 now. He's coming off of a pretty devastating knockout loss. You know, he's a great wrestler for sure, but he can't strike like Stipe can. His wrestling is probably on the same level, really, as Stipe. I think if they wrestled each other, if they were the same size, DC's a smaller guy. If they were the same size, I would say DC's a better wrestler. But I think Stipe's size allows his wrestling to negate DC's. So I do think DC's wrestling is better, but I think Stipe's size allows him to at least hold his own. And we saw that in their fights. You know, even though DC was winning the beginning of the second fight with wrestling, you know, we did see Stipe have success in wrestling against DC. So, you know, I think Ngannou is so big that DC might have a hard time wrestling with him. So Ngannou's not going to see a better wrestler in DC than he did against Stipe. I don't think he will, just because of the size difference. Also, I think Ngannou's improved tremendously since the Stipe fight. I guarantee you his takedown defense and his wrestling has improved. I guarantee you. And I think if he's put in that position, we'll see that. So, I mean, it's going to be basically, you know, an improved version of Ngannou going up against a guy. Excuse me. No corona. Going up against a guy in Stipe or in DC who lost to Stipe. You know what I mean? And I know MMA math doesn't always work out like that. But I just feel like Stipe had enough size and wrestling prowess and striking to be able to deal with Ngannou. I don't think DC has that, especially not at this age, at this time, you know, coming off of a loss and being so inactive. Jamaican, my brother, with the generosity, man, much love to you. Thank you so much for doing that. Says Jamaican 1, COVID-19 0. You damn right. And man, I don't know where the hell you been, Jamaican. We've been looking for you, brother. I was gonna put you on the back of a milk carton, but I appreciate you being back, and I appreciate your generosity. Still the most generous person. Still the most generous person on the channel. My brother Jamaican says Tony looked slow. I think he overtrained. However, the better fighter won. Gaethje was hitting too hard, too accurate. I agree with that, man. I agree with that. By the way, I really appreciate you guys donating to the super chat. You know, that means a lot to me and to the promotion. And obviously, I accept your donations. But I didn't include the link in this video. But if you go to our Facebook or Instagram, it's in the bio link. And on the Facebook page, it's posted at the FightersRep Facebook page. We're doing a raise, or rather, Save the Fight Gyms Foundation or Save the Fight Gyms fundraiser, where I'm trying to raise at least $5,000 to save the fight gyms. As you guys know, you know, this fucking pandemic has absolutely destroyed small businesses. It's killing the fight game. You know, if these small businesses shut down, which I know at least 4 or 5 off the top of my head that went under already, if these small businesses shut down, you know, there's going to be no fighters, man. And these gyms, you know, you guys that understand the fight game know what these gyms and these coaches do for these young fighters. So I do ask, man, if you guys can show some generosity. $1, $2, $5. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Go to the FightersRep Instagram and hit the bio link and donate to my fundraiser. I'm trying to get to 5,000. I only have until March 20th, so that's 11 days. We're already past $600, man. I think we're approaching $700. But I'd really love to reach 5,000 and maybe help out paying the rent for at least a month. Excuse me, or maybe a couple months for a gym or two, or maybe splitting the money up among a couple gyms. Just trying to look out, man. Just trying to look out for them, So appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you guys. It's a sad situation, man, what's happening to these gyms. Neil the Security says, I'd rather dodge traffic than go toe-to-toe with Francis. I agree with you. And Nico's eye looked nasty. It was absolutely disgusting. The Next Move podcast. What up, brother? He says, I was super impressed by how composed Gaethje was through all 5 rounds. I kept waiting for him to wear himself out and Tony to do his thing. But, geez, mad respect, man. And, yeah, I mean, he really did look composed in there. And that's why I give Trevor Whitman all the credit in the world, man. He's the one that changed Justin Gaethje's mentality. He didn't really change Justin Gaethje's fighting style too much, maybe other than adding some jabs to his game. And, maybe slightly better head movement. But that change of mentality, that change of strategy, of conserving his energy and picking his shots, man, it has worked wonders for Justin Gaethje. It's incredible what it's done for him. Neil Security says Hardy is getting that Bellator treatment. Put him in with the heavy hitters. I mean, hey, Jorgen De Castro wasn't a bad step up, man. That guy can knock people out. We saw what he did to, I think his name was Junior Tafa or something. I mean, he put that dude's lights out. So let's see, man. Let's see. I don't know if he's gonna be the next big thing. But it's nice to have some more talent in the heavyweight division, which is still kind of thin. It's still kind of thin. And then another person I was kind of impressed with was Alexei Oleinik, the one that fought Fabricio Verdum and got the win there. I mean, I didn't expect, I don't expect him to be like a huge factor in the heavyweight division, but he looked better. And it looked like he put in a lot of work despite his age and experience. And he came into the fight in shape. And he beat Fabricio Verdum fair and square, man. And Fabricio Verdum was, a contender at one point and champion not too long ago. Let's not forget. I think he was the champ until Stipe beat him, right? So, Alexei Oleinik, no slouch. No slouch. He did a good job. Let's see here. Jamaican said, Ferg didn't quit, but he wanted no more. I had a parlay on Cater, Ngannou, Cejudo, and Tony, but Gaethje is the real deal. Damn, Jamaican, if you would have come in here, brother, you would have won the parlay just listening to your boy, man. Jamaican, how many times am I going to tell you who's going to win and you don't listen to me, Jamaican? I don't know why, bro. I don't know why you don't listen to me. I always give you the right picks, and you go against the grain. It's time for you to stop being a rebel and listen to Uncle George and let me hook you up with some money, bro. You've given me so much money. Let me give you some money back. Let's see here. Wow, I expected you to pick Cormier. No, I won't pick Cormier, man. I won't pick Cormier. And, it's against my nature. Again, I said it yesterday on the, or Wednesday on the, no, it was yesterday. I said it yesterday on the walk when we were outside. We did the show from outside because being inside is making me sick, you guys. I'm not going to lie. But I said it yesterday, man. Typically, I go with the guy who's got superior technique. Typically, that's what I do. But a guy like Ngannou, man, when a guy that big and he's technical enough, when a guy that big is rushing you and can just hit you once and send you into another fucking dimension, I mean, he negates your technique, man. He negates your technique. I guarantee you, Rosenstrike probably has better technique than Ngannou, and probably has better technique than a lot of the heavyweights. Does Rosenstrike, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter. Just too big, too strong. He's a freak. He's an absolute freak athlete with freak strength. He's, you know, when you used to turn the fucking Marvel cards to the back and look at the guys, look at the guy's ratings. I mean, this guy's power 10, speed for his size 10, athleticism 10, agility 10, coordination 10. I mean, the guy's an animal. The only thing that's probably low is his wrestling, and I guarantee you it's not that bad. I guarantee you it's not that bad, because even against Stipe, I mean, he was getting up because he's just so physically strong. I bet you now that he's worked on his technique. If somebody tries taking him down, he's going to get back up. You know, these guys improve, man. What we saw with Justin Gaethje, guys can do that, man. Guys can improve and turn their career around and completely reinvent themselves and become incredible fighters. And that's what happened. That's what happened with Justin Gaethje, and that's probably what's happening with Ngannou. Jamaican says, I promise you, John Jones will not move to heavyweight if Ngannou becomes champ. Listen, Jamaican, listen, bro. Listen. Nobody, man. Nobody wants to fight Ngannou. Nobody. If you want to fight Ngannou, look, maybe guys, okay, I take that back. Maybe guys want to fight Ngannou, but I guarantee you they are fucking shook, or a part of them at least, unless they're completely out of their mind, is afraid that they are going to get fucking knocked out, because Francis Ngannou is just an absolute monster, man. That is a monster of a man. That is a guy that could have played any sport on this planet. Any sport. Just any sport. I mean, that guy is the alpha male. And the crazy part to me is how nice the guy is. The guy just seems so nice and so gentle. And he seems like a really like a great guy, man. Like a really sweet guy. I mean, just like a common, guy that's down to earth you could hang out with and have a conversation with, and you wouldn't feel threatened by him. But holy shit, man, when he gets in that octagon, man, he's a destroyer, man. He's the destroyer. He's the destroyer when he's in there. Let's save the fight, Jim, guys, says Jamaican. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. You know what? I'm going to, let me see something real quick here. I'm going to put the link below for you guys in the description. And in hopes that you guys will donate. I'm going to put the link. Hold up. Here it is. Pulling it up. Where the hell is this thing now? Share. How do I share this fucking thing? I don't even know how to share this damn thing. Here it is. Okay, I got it. Alright, this thing's about to appear in the link below. So if you guys want to help me, in a good cause, I'm going to put Save the Fight Gyms. Alright. Right under the main description. It's going to say Save the Fight Gyms. And there's the link to the Facebook fundraiser page. And it should be there now. And that will allow you guys to help me save the fight gyms, man. Save the fight gyms. This page is different, man. This page is different. We're not racist like the other boxing pages. We accept everybody's opinion because we're fucking adults. That believe in, objective reality and evidence. And I do have I have my opinions as to who I think is good and who isn't. But, I'm not going to kick you out or cuss you out if I disagree. And that's something we pride ourselves on in this channel. Let me see what else here. Imagine Ngannou with Tony's cardio, says Jamaican. That would be unbelievable. Austin Allen says no fans is pure cringe, but man, still enjoyed the hell out of that card, man. You can't tell me you didn't enjoy the hell out of that card. That was fucking awesome, Austin Allen. By the way, if you haven't, Austin, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it. Join Knucklehead Nation. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and immediately after every big fight, we do this live forum where we want to hear from you guys. Watch Cejudo unretire and come back for a super fight. Jamaican again with the generosity. Thank you so much, my brother. You are flattering me, man. I appreciate that, And again, anything you guys donate to the channel, it goes straight back into the promotion, you guys. We're developing some of the best young talent in the world. We had Anderson Silva's son fight for us on the last card. He's looking fucking fantastic. He's just one of many great young fighters we have at FightersRep. We're in Southern California. If you guys don't know, this is the mecca of combat sports. The teams that we, associate ourselves with that send us fighters include Black House MMA, where Anderson Silva and Lyoto Machida trained. Systems Training Center, the home of UFC fighters like Christos Giagos, Dynamics MMA, Anthony Hardonk and Vladimir Matyushenko over there, among others. Hayastan MMA, which, doesn't need any introduction if you know anything about the fight game or any description. CMMA. We've had Team Quest. Sam Alvey fought tonight. Shout out Sam Alvey. Team Oyama. Carla Esparza fought tonight. I mean, all these big-time gyms you're seeing, have blessed us by sending us fighters. I could go on and on with all the fantastic gyms, but they've blessed us by sending us these fighters. And I think they'll continue to do so, and your contributions help me build that up. So anyway, Krishna Kim said that fucking card was amazing. Coach Krishna, another incredible coach. Krishna Kim over there at NHC has provided us with some fantastic fighters. The coach of one of the most talented, strikers in the state, in Abel Lara, a kid with an IKF championship. So much love to Krishna. And I was talking about you earlier on the chat, Krista, when you texted me. I was like, oh, that's Coach Krista texting me. I hope he jumps on the chat. And here you are. And yeah, man, you're right. That card was fucking insane. That card was insane. Insane. Austin Allen says the fights were good. Yeah. What was your favorite fight, by the way, guys? What was your favorite fight? I mean, there were so many good fights. There were so many good fights, man. The Sam Alvey fight was good. I didn't think any of the fights were really bad. I thought they were all great fights, man. Wow, all of them. I mean, the Ferguson Gaethje, Cejudo Cruz, Ngannou Rosenstrike, Cater Stevens, Hardy de Castro, Pettis Cerrone, Olenek Verdum, Esparza Watterson, Luke K. Price, Bryce Mitchell versus Charles Rosa, and Spann versus Alvey. I mean, these were all top-notch fights, man. Top-notch. Jamaica says Cejudo's smart. He pulled a Floyd Mayweather. If TJ Dillashaw comes back and wins the belt, that's a money fight for Cejudo. He will get title shots when he comes back. What's left for him to do? The only reason for him to come back would be, in my opinion, Jamaican, would be for money, because He's done it all, man. He's done it all. I mean, what's left for Cejudo to do? You win a gold medal. You become double champ in the UFC. You beat the best guy that's supposed to be, in the fight game, in Demetrius Johnson. You beat TJ Dillashaw, who's supposed to be the best bantamweight of all time or whatever. You beat Dominic Cruz. You beat Marlon Moraes, who was on an absolute tear. I mean, what's left for the guy to do? Who else should he fight? There's some contenders coming up, yeah. But he's 33 years old. He's been doing this since a kid at a very high level. And time to move on. Time to move on. If he sticks around, I can understand that. But he's decided to move on, and I respect that. I mean, a lot of these guys, they burn out. A lot of these guys, that's what happens. They just burn out. They've been doing it for so long. They burn out. Says he has a kid and wants to enjoy being a parent or whatever. So more power to him. He's a beast. Mike Colleen, Conscious Power, says, dude, that fight was awesome. Holy shit, I agree, Mike. That was a crazy card, brother. Austin Allen also says early stoppage in the Cejudo Cruz fight. I would disagree with that. I don't think it was that early. I don't think it was early. I thought it was a good stoppage. Maybe he could have kept going, or maybe he would have kept going and gotten crushed. But, he did take a lot of shots, and I err on the side of caution for the fighter, and Joe Rogan mentioned that. And I agree with Joe Rogan. I mean, he took... First off, that knee he caught was an unbelievable knee from Henry Cejudo. I mean, that knee by itself would have taken many people's soul. Not to mention the 11 or 12 or whatever shots that he ate immediately after that. So yeah, I don't have that much of a problem with that stoppage. I can see what Cruz is saying. I can see how, he wanted to continue fighting, and maybe he could have kept fighting, maybe. But I thought it was a legitimate stoppage. Mike Colleen, Conscious Power, says, the Gaethje versus Ferguson fight. Mike, I know, man. I know, that was wild. And, it wasn't really a close fight. It was just an amazing fight. It was an amazing display by Gaethje. And it was an amazing display by Tony Ferguson's chin. And I think that's what made it such an intriguing fight. And also, Gaethje was the underdog. A lot of people didn't expect that. But your boy called it. Thank you so much. Your boy called it. So anytime you guys want to go to the sports book and pay for my room in Vegas, I got you guys. I'm just kidding. Just buy me a whiskey and we'll be good. By the way, shout out to Cali Whiskey. Here's a close-up there. Let's see it. Focus. Focus. You're not focusing. Not focusing? I don't know. Anyway. It kind of did. Shout out to Cali Whiskey. Austin Allen says, Gaethje versus Ferguson was the best fight in my opinion. Gaethje had his number with those counter punches. I agree with that. Sandhagen would beat Cejudo. Sandhagen might have the potential to be able to beat Cejudo at some point. But right now, I think Sandhagen would get taken to school. That's just my opinion. Cejudo doesn't really have much of any hole at all in his game. I mean, how do you even beat the guy? I think somebody who can strike tremendously and completely avoid his Olympic wrestling pedigree might have a shot. I don't think Sandhagen right now has the experience to be able to beat Cejudo, but I think it would be a fun fight, and that's a fight Cejudo can stay back and take if he wanted to. I mean, that's one of these contenders that definitely could give him a good fight. But I do think Sandhagen needs a little bit more experience before he can really beat a Cejudo, but that's the great part about the UFC. Put him in there, we'll find out. Jamaican says Sandhagen won't last with those skinny legs. With that being said, I'm impressed with Tony Ferguson's boxing. Did you see how he was slipping those shots? That was crazy. He was slipping some shots. But man, Jamaican, he looked slow, bro. He looked slow. He's a plodding, slow guy. He's got endless cardio, but the explosion is what he's missing. He's missing explosion. And he's probably worked so hard on his cardio that, he's kind of negated the explosiveness, the explosion that's necessary to beat, more athletic guys, to be a more athletic guy, to beat a guy like Gaethje. He needed a little bit more explosion, man. He just didn't have it, man. So anyway, knuckleheads, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it. Join Knucklehead Nation. As I've said before, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Become a knucklehead by clicking the subscribe button below and the bell notification icon next to it. Again, join Knucklehead Nation. Jamaica says, Dana White, Khabib, and Ali played Tony. I think Conor should fight Tony and bless him with a payday. Not a bad idea. But you know what? If Gaethje did Tony like that, I think Conor would do Tony worse, because Conor's really explosive, man. The only thing I'd worry about with Conor, though, is his energy levels at the end of the fight. Could he sustain that pace? I'm sure that's all he would be working on if he trained for Ferguson, would be sustaining that pace over the course of 5 rounds. Because if he blows his load in the first or second round against Tony Ferguson, he's gonna get put to sleep. I mean, at the end of the fight, that's what's gonna happen. And he says Tony looked his age tonight, says Jamaican. He did, Jamaican. He did look his age. And that's something I brought up in the prediction on Monday. And yesterday, I said, man, too old, too inactive, the surgery, too old, too inactive, the surgery, and the styles, man. The styles. He's just not an athlete enough to be able to deal with a guy like Gaethje, in my opinion. That's my opinion. And he says, I know, but he deserves that $5 million payday. I agree, man. After what happened to Tony Ferguson tonight, yeah, man, he deserves a big, big payday. And I kind of, one thing I noticed that I didn't like was after the fight, when Justin Gaethje went to go and shake his hand, Ferguson was like, whatever. Gaethje told him, being an asshole is not going to get you anywhere. Eventually, they did shake hands, but yeah, that was not a good look, and I'm glad Tony Ferguson saved himself from that sort of reputational damage that happened there. Tony got clapped, says Daniel Aon. Daniel, where you been, my brother? We've been waiting for you for a hot minute on the channel, man. He's back. Says Tony got clapped. Dude, he sure did, man. He sure did. Let's take a look. What else here? What else was here? Anthony Pettis defeated Donald Cerrone 29-28 on all 3 judges' scorecards. A lot of people disagreed with that. I thought it was a close fight. I didn't have that much of a problem with the decision. What did you guys think about that decision? I didn't think that decision was too horrible. I could see Cowboy winning. I could see Pettis winning. I thought it was close. Somebody also said, what did they also say? There was another fight. There was another fight that was, I think, close, that they said the decision wasn't good. I don't know. But man, Justin Gaethje, what do you guys think? What do you guys think happens if Justin Gaethje fights Khabib Nurmagomedov? Because one thing is for damn sure. Khabib's going to come forward, but Gaethje's going to come forward too. And but one thing's for damn sure, and that's that Justin Gaethje is way better on the feet than Khabib, man. Justin Gaethje is way, way, way better on the feet than Khabib. He just is, man. He's better. Justin Gaethje is better than Khabib on the feet. And if that shit turns into a slugfest, Khabib's gonna get fucking knocked out. Khabib's gonna have to get Justin down on the ground somehow. And if he can't do it, and Gaethje's going over and over again at his legs with low kicks and banging him with that jab and with those vicious hooks that he throws. I mean, and I say vicious hooks because when Gaethje throws a hook, he doesn't throw his hook like this. He doesn't do this. He goes like this. He brings his whole body with him to get as much torque on that hook as he can. I mean, he's trying to murder your ass with that shit. He's trying to kill you. I'm just like, damn, this motherfucker's going all in with these hooks, So, I don't know, man. That's a tough... I've said it before. And when people were talking about Conor McGregor getting the next shot at Khabib instead of Tony, I was saying, no, bro. The person who deserves the shot is Justin Gaethje. And I've said that on this channel. And you can go back and watch it. And I said it would be totally fucking unfair and ridiculous if Conor McGregor jumped Justin Gaethje's position as a contender, because Justin Gaethje is the guy that deserves it, man. He's the guy that deserves it. And I really want to see what Justin Gaethje would do against Khabib Nurmagomedov. That is an incredibly interesting fight. Again, the guy is a bad style matchup for Khabib and for Tony. He's a very bad style matchup. And it's interesting because the guys that did beat him, Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez, are just much better strikers than they are anything else. And Gaethje wants to strike. But, and if he fights Poirier again, there's the possibility you get the same result, that Poirier outstrikes him, although now that he's more patient, I don't know. But it's interesting because he is an absolute nightmare matchup. Justin Gaethje, remember you heard it here from your boy, the FightersRep. Justin Gaethje is a fucking absolute nightmare matchup. Not only for Tony Ferguson, for the reasons I've cited, and the reasons I gave in my preview / prediction on Monday and yesterday. He is an absolute nightmare matchup for Khabib Nurmagomedov. He's an absolute nightmare. Really. Jamaican says, Pettis looked weird with a gut. Conor will man up and finally fight Tony. We'll see, man. Austin Allen says, Khabib already wrecked Conor. If Conor gets that fight, it's pure grief in the UFC. And it is, I mean, hey, it's unfortunately, it's a business. Unfortunately, sometimes they do put money ahead of credentials. And I could see them giving Conor that fight. But I think after tonight, I mean, you just cannot deny Justin Gaethje. I think after tonight's performance, if they gave the Khabib fight to Conor instead of Gaethje after tonight's performance, because tonight was a masterclass performance by Justin Gaethje. If they gave this shit to Conor, there would be a public outrage. There would be public outrage, man. There would be fucking Antifa and Occupy, Wall Street, and all these motherfuckers would be out in the street, because that's how much of a public outrage it would be. I would call the NAACP, whatever, ACLU, whatever you want to call it. I would hit up all those organizations and be like, yo, we got to do something about this shit. because this shit is crazy right now. Austin Allen, or rather Jamaican, says Khabib will make him tired and make him tap. Maybe. If he could get him down. If he can get him down. Tony couldn't make him tired. Tony couldn't make him tired. That's a fight. When that Khabib fight happens, because it's got to happen now. When that Khabib fight happens, that's a fight that I'm going to have to sit down and really think about. Because that's going to be a pick'em fight, you guys. I mean, you guys know that's going to be a pick'em fight. What do you guys think? I mean, right now, I want you guys to write down in the comments, if you're watching, who wins that fight? Khabib or Gaethje? Tell me who wins, and tell me in what fashion they win. So far, Jamaican has Khabib winning by submission. I want you guys to tell me what you guys think. What does Knucklehead Nation think? Justin Gaethje or Khabib Nurmagomedov? And how does he win? Right now, off the top of my head, maybe it's because it's the last thing I saw. I got to think about this, and I'm going to need more time to think about it, because even when I predicted the Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury fight, I had Wilder at first, and then I switched my pick to Tyson Fury, and I was right about it. I wanted to see how he looked in training camp, and I saw some things I liked, so I went with Tyson Fury. But right now, I look at Khabib, I look at Justin Gaethje, and I like Gaethje. I like Gaethje. I like him. I like Gaethje. I know you guys are saying FightersRep, man. FightersRep, you guys are tripping. You're crazy, FightersRep. You're fucking nuts, man. Khabib Nurmagomedov undefeated, 28-0, whatever it is. I know, guys. I know. Listen, I know. Big fan of Khabib too. Big fan. But I'm a big fan of Gaethje too. But that doesn't matter. I'm looking at this shit objectively. Can Khabib take the guy down? I haven't seen him get taken down. Can Khabib outstrike the guy? I don't think so. Can Khabib out-heart the guy? I don't think a heart gets bigger than Gaethje's. They're probably at the same level. They're probably both at that elite level. Has Khabib been rocked? Khabib's been rocked. Gaethje has too. But who's going to rock who when they're standing toe-to-toe? Who's going to rock who? It's going to be Gaethje rocking Khabib, in my opinion. And in my opinion, you get the same result that you got tonight. You get a war of attrition where he slowly breaks Khabib Nurmagomedov physically, not mentally. You can't break Tony mentally. You can't break Khabib mentally. But he'll break them physically because he's too much, man. He's too much. He's just too much. I don't know. That's the way I think about it. Khabib via rear naked choke Jamaican. That's a good prediction. And again, 50-50 fight, but we got to see. U.S. versus Russia in July. Let's go. Khabib will just charge him till he gets to the ground. What if he can't get him to the ground? What if he can't? What if Khabib gets taken to the ground? The Next Move podcast says, I think Gaethje too. Gaethje looks hungry too. He is. It's a coin flip, says Austin Allen. If Khabib wrestles the whole time, he could win. But if it's a stand-up fight, Justin wins. Great analysis, man. Great analysis, Austin. I agree with Austin. This is a 50-50 pick'em fight. It's a pick'em fight, but after what I saw tonight, what I saw tonight confirmed to me that Justin Gaethje has turned the corner in his career on the mental aspect, or within the mental aspect of the fight game. He turned that corner. And we saw him begin to turn that corner a couple fights ago. We saw it in the Cowboy Cerrone fight. And I said to myself, is this something that's perpetual? Is this something that we're going to see going forward? Is this something that's now going to become part and parcel of the Justin Gaethje repertoire? And ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, I believe it has. I believe it has. I think Justin Gaethje gained a lot of confidence tonight in his newfound approach to fighting, where he's not Homer Simpson anymore, where he goes in there and he thinks and he picks his shots and he uses his incredible physical gifts. The guy is just, listen. The guy is just physically gifted. He's got a chin. He's got heart. He's got cardio. He's got a... Here's the other thing you guys are just not understanding or not taking into account. The guy has one-hitter quitters in each hand. He's got one-shot knockout power in each hand. Okay? In each hand. And he carries it into the 5th round against the toughest son of a bitch. I mean, is Khabib tougher than Tony Ferguson? I don't know, man. Tony Ferguson is 10 out of 10 in toughness. I mean, how much tougher do you get than that? And for Gaethje to carry enough power to finish him with a jab in the 5th round of this fight... Cheers, man. Cheers to Justin Gaethje. Excuse me. Cheers to Justin Gaethje, man. That guy. Wow. Let me see what else we got here. Justin is pretty strong on the ground, too. He's such a strong guy. He's strong, man. He's definitely strong. I mean, to be able to, knock people out the way he does, he's strong. The Next Move podcast says, as for his Conor fight, I think Dana White wants to hold off as long as possible on another Conor fight. White doesn't want to give up the gate money on a Conor fight if he doesn't have to. That's true. That makes a lot of sense, The Next Move podcast. You've been hanging around me for too long, brother. By the way, check out The Next Move podcast, man. They even interviewed me on there. And they do a fantastic job. Shout out to David Orta. He also does the commercials for FightersRep. A fantastic talent on a camera. Absolute beast on a camera, I must say. Austin Allen says, Khabib has the better conditioning, which would favor him if there's a lot of wrestling. But that conditioning, if it's just a little bit better, that condition, I mean, look, Gaethje went 5 rounds today on short notice against the toughest guy, landing monster shots, and the guy wasn't going away, and it didn't affect him, and he went 5 rounds on short notice. So Gaethje's got a tank. Gaethje's fucking got a Tesla battery. But when you're taking the shots, that tank starts to leak. That battery starts to leak, man, when you're taking shots. And that's what happened to Tony Ferguson tonight. Khabib's tank, even if it's a little bit better than Justin Gaethje, let's say hypothetically it's better, because we don't know that for sure. I mean, let's not forget, Justin Gaethje comes from a wrestling base too. since he was 4 years old. He's got a tank. But when somebody's fucking punching the shit out of your gas tank, your shit depletes, man. Your shit depletes. And Khabib's gas tank, man, is not going to be the same as it is against everybody else who isn't landing vicious punches on him. Because let's make no mistake about it. Gaethje's going to land. Gaethje's going to touch you. If you go into the cage with Gaethje, you're either getting finished or you're finishing him in an absolute brutal affair, in a fucking dogfight. We've seen it time and time again. We've never seen Gaethje get out of there without a finish or being finished. With your shield or on it, the way the Spartans used to say. And that's how Gaethje rolls. That gas tank is going to get tampered with, man. That gas tank is going to get the shit kicked out of it for the 5 rounds that Khabib's in there. And we're going to have to see how he responds to that. He's not fucking with anybody like Justin Gaethje, man. He's never fought anyone like that. And it's going to be really interesting to see how he responds to that. Daniel Aon says Conor should get Tony next. I disagree with that, Daniel. I disagree. Conor should get... Actually, I agree with that. I do agree with that. I thought you were saying Conor should get Khabib next. Conor should get Tony next. And the winner of that should fight the winner of Khabib Gaethje. I agree 1000%, Daniel Aon. My bad. Jamaica says James Vick be like, I almost beat Homer Simpson, pound not. Oh my God, that poor guy. He destroyed that guy. He destroyed James Vick's career. I mean, it's crazy. Homer is a nightmare matchup for Vick, says Austin Allen. Justin's corner was telling him to punch with less power to conserve energy. He was landing bombs. That's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about. Between the second and the third round, they told him, just be easy, man. Just land clean shots. And despite doing that, there was so much damage that accumulated on Tony Ferguson. You know, despite Gaethje pulling his punches a little bit, that he still cracked his chin. You cannot take that many shots from Justin Gaethje. I don't care who you are. And Tony Ferguson might have the best chin in the UFC, man, from what we saw tonight. There's an argument that guy has the best chin in the UFC. Him and Brian Ortega might have the best chins in the UFC. Some of the best chins in the UFC. For them to take the punishment they did in their fights, you know, it takes a special chin. Let's leave it at that. And for Gaethje to be pulling his punches and still get to finish the way he did in the 5th round with a jab tells me that Tony Ferguson took way, way too much damage tonight. Let's see here. I never seen Tony wobbled so many times, especially by those leg kicks, and especially by those massive shots that Justin Gaethje was landing to the temple. He was landing right on the side of Tony Ferguson's head. Over and over again. Kevin from Chicago says, what's the number to call in? Let me see if I could pull that up for you. Hold on. Let's see here, Kevin. I'm not even sure if it'll work. You'd be the first person that has called in. So it would be, that number would be, oh shit, hold up. The hell? 562 Let me see. Okay, 562-270-4487. 562-270-4487. One more time. 562-270-4487. You guys could call in. You guys could also call on Skype. Just look for FightersRep Promotions. That works too. FightersRep Promotions at Skype. So let me know if you're going to call in. Zoom or SteamYard. Yeah, you guys want to call in, it's if you guys want to call in, it's FightersRep on Skype. And again on oh, there he is. 773 number. Oh, you called and then stopped. You called and then stopped. I don't know what happened. Oh. Hello, what's going on? You're on the FightersRep show, brother. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello. Can't hear you, brother. Give him a call back. Hello? Hello, hello? Hold on. Hello? Yeah, I can't hear you, man. I can't hear you. Try Skype. Try Skype, man. I can't hear you. Just call me at FightersRep on Skype. Or actually, you can call back. I'll answer from my phone. Maybe that'll work. But if I still can't hear you, then that's something with your shit. What the hell? Here we go. Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on, brother? This is Kevin?
Yup, this is Kevin from Chicago.
What's up, Kevin? How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, man. Just had to call in, talk about these fights. Pretty wild.
Dude, that's one of the best cards I've seen in a very long time, man. And I feel like I've watched a lot of fights. What were your thoughts on the fights?
It was top to bottom. Can't complain. UFC delivered again, so can't complain. As far as Justin Gaethje goes, I'm surprised so many people were counting him out. Dominic Cruz, in my opinion, I feel like that's kind of what the UFC gets, because Dominic Cruz shouldn't have been in there. 3.5-year layoff. I felt like the UFC trying to capitalize off his star power, his name, and 3.5 years layoffs, he had no business being in there, and it kind of showed. He was doing his little work, and he got picked apart with the leg kicks, and he got caught in beat. So,
Big
as far
time.
as Francis Ngannou, I mean, I don't think anybody was shocked with that one, because if you saw that Biggie boy, Jair Rosenstruck previous fight against Alistair Overeem, he was getting dominated that fight. The only way he won was a last-second Hail Mary. And you saw what Francis Ngannou did to Alistair Overeem. So those three fights, I actually picked those three fights correct.
Yeah.
I was spot on the money with those two, but
Did you?
surprised so many people were counting Justin Gaethje out.
Yeah, I mean, did you get a chance to watch the preview we did on Monday and then watch me yesterday?
No, I missed it. I have to go back and check it out.
You know, it's pretty amazing, man. I agree. I don't know why the hell I picked. So on the Monday preview and yesterday, I did another show. I picked Gaethje to win. I picked Cejudo to win as well, and it's awesome that you bring up the whole thing about Dominic being out for 3 years, because that's one of the reasons I gave. You know, I said, man, why is this guy? I mean, I kind of thought in the back of my head too, why is this guy even getting this shot? He's not been active. He's coming off of a loss, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, same analysis. I will say though, you're better than me. You're better than me when it comes to the Ngannou fight. I picked Ngannou to win, but I thought it would be a much better fight than that. I thought it would be a much better fight than that because, you know, if you don't know, I'm a kickboxing promoter. We're a kickboxing promotion. That's what we do. We're actually the only pro kickboxing promotion in California, and I'm a big fan of kickboxing. And I thought, you know, Jairzinho, with his kickboxing background, would make it a better fight with Ngannou. I thought he could even knock Ngannou out. But I picked Ngannou to win just because he's a fucking monster. But I mean, you have better eyes than me, brother. Because I thought that was going to be a closer fight.
Yeah, I could see where you're coming from because Jair, man, he's been looking good. The way he knocked out Alistair Overeem. I mean, it wasn't the best performance, but you saw the power he has. You can see the technique he has, very crisp. Especially the Alan Crowder one where he freaking dropped him with the jab, comes over the top with the right hand, starches him. You can tell the dude knows what he's doing, but man, he's undersized. He's really undersized. That's the thing. That was the difference. And you can't be going toe to toe with Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
I don't know what these fighters are doing, going toe to toe with them, trying to go punch for punch.
Stupid.
If you saw what Stipe Miocic did, he was the matador. You got to tame the bull. You can't be going punch for someone that big, powerful. You got to go in there, use some head movements, and then work. Then maybe start throwing punches. What do you think?
I couldn't agree more. I mean, Stipe is the only guy I think that can beat Ngannou. I think Cormier has a shot, but like I said earlier on the stream, I think Cormier is too far along now. He's coming off of a knockout loss against Stipe. I don't see him getting any younger or better. I see Ngannou improving. So I still think the only guy that's going to be able to beat Ngannou is going to be Stipe. And even then, it's going to be a tough fight for Stipe. It's going to be a tough fight. Because Ngannou, man, if he lands one shot on anybody, it's over. And it doesn't even have to be a big shot, right? It doesn't even have to be a big shot. And then one thing is funny that you bring up, and I'm glad you brought it up, is you said, you know, Jair's undersized. Did you see on the tail of the tape they had them both listed as 6'4"?
No, I didn't see that.
I said, what the? I said, who the fuck put this who put this measurement up? There's no way Ngannou and Jair are the same height. It's impossible.
No way.
Yeah. So anyway, Kevin, man, hey, I appreciate you calling in, man. You're the first person other than the people, you know, we interview on the channel to call in. And you can definitely do so anytime. We do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and immediately after all the big fights. And you could do so on Skype as well. I think it might be better on Skype next time. But I really appreciate you calling in, Kevin.
Oh, no problem, man. I subscribe, so I'll definitely be tuning in.
Thank you, brother. And definitely
Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, you said?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific. And then we go, we interview fighters. We air our own fights as well. And then immediately after all the big fights, typically on Saturdays, this is the first time we've done it in a while because of this whole pandemic. But we go live immediately after. And, we accept everybody's opinion, man. I'm not one of these crazy boxing channels on YouTube that's horribly racist and kicks people out when they disagree with me. It's a forum. It's open for discussion. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it. That's definitely a plus in this day and age.
Yeah, it's
great. Before I go, I just got to make one quick point regarding Gaethje and Khabib.
Do it.
Because, man, I've been saying it. Gaethje, he has the tools to give Khabib problems. You saw it.
Oh yeah.
With his wrestling background, he's really hard to take down. I've never seen him get taken down and held down and controlled. People are comparing it to Dustin Poirier, like always Khabib's going to beat him like Dustin Poirier.
No,
Gaethje
no,
is a way better wrestler than Dustin Poirier.
Yeah. It's different. It's a different fight. That's actually the discussion we were having before you called in. I was asking everybody who they got in that fight, and me right now, I gotta go with Gaethje after what I saw tonight. It's gonna be a close fight, and I'm gonna need some time to think about it. But after what I saw tonight, because I'm like you, I know the guy doesn't get taken down. He's better than Khabib on the feet. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I agree. He's definitely a way better striker, way more power. The only thing is Khabib, he has decent striking. He has a nice jab, and you saw if he does want to load up, he can drop people. He dropped Conor with that big right hand, but I agree. Justin Gaethje is a way better striker, way more power, way better leg kicks. I think Khabib, though, he has a better gas tank. His pressure, that could cause some problems. But man, Justin Gaethje, he's on a tear right now.
And he's no slouch with the gas tank either. And Tony Ferguson has one of the best gas tanks in the UFC. But look, when you got Justin Gaethje punching the shit out of you, he's puncturing that gas tank. You know what I mean?
Oh man, Tony Ferguson is a freak. Watching that dude, I got so much respect for him. But man, they call him the boogeyman. But at the end of the fight, you saw he got popped with that jab. He turned away from Justin Gaethje, and he was basically looking for Herb Dean to save him. That was I definitely didn't see that. I expect Tony Ferguson to get put to sleep. Maybe he got knocked out, but I didn't see him getting beat that way. And basically got the roles reversed. He was the hunted. He's usually the hunter. So that was crazy to see. Gaethje is an animal.
He is an absolute animal. And, I love to hear from people that give me the cosign, because I thought exactly like you did. So, it's always interesting to hear with somebody with the same opinion. I felt like a lot of people on the channel were kind of bagging on me because I picked Cejudo and I picked Gaethje, and I'm glad, I got a cosign with you, Kevin. I appreciate you, brother.
Yep. People are already saying, I already hear it, that was a bad stoppage. You got to let it fight, this and that. Come on. Cejudo, he was tearing him up with the leg kicks, hit him with that big knee. You saw Dominic Cruz's face. He got knocked, he got rocked, and he was falling backwards, all shook. I mean, they probably could have let it go a little bit later, but you can't complain about that stoppage.
Yeah.
A little bit too early, but I don't know.
Yeah, I had no problem at all with it. But, Kevin, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for joining Knucklehead Nation and hitting that subscribe button. And, we'll be on for a little bit longer, see if anybody else wants to call in. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you, brother. Stay safe.
You got it.
Have a whiskey in my honor, brother. We would have both won the bets had we been at the sports book, brother.
No doubt.
All right, man. Kevin from Chicago, our first ever call-in. Much appreciated, Kevin. If you guys want to call in, your best bet is to try on Skype at FightersRep. It looks like for whatever reason the Google phone isn't receiving calls. But yeah, FightersRep on Skype is your best option. Here we go. Let me see. Austin Allen says Curtis Blades for Ngannou would be fireworks, in my opinion. Maybe. I think what happens to Blades is, Curtis Blades has already been beaten by Ngannou a couple times, though, hasn't he? Yeah, he already got stopped twice. Yeah, that's what I thought. Austin Allen says, oh yeah, I forgot. You're right. Ngannou smoked him twice. Rosenstrike versus Cejudo should be next. That would be that's a good matchup, Rob. That's a good matchup. I like that matchup. Keep them busy. Keep them busy. Keep them coming. Let's see here. Yelled at the fighter. Let me see. Are you done? Let's go. I'm reading some messages. I'm getting it right now. Everybody's freaking out about this card, man. Everybody's freaking out about this card. This was a great card, and wow, what a job by the UFC to pull this shit off, huh, guys? I mean, incredible work by the UFC, being the first basically sporting organization, right? The first sports organization to come and put on a show during this pandemic. Man, they really set themselves apart again. I mean, as risky as it was, it looks like they did it right. They even caught a guy who was positive with COVID. And they got it done, man. They got it done. Fantastic job. Austin Allen says Stipe, I guess, is the only guy. Stipe is the only guy, man. Stipe, Cormier, and Ngannou, man. Those are the guys. And I think Cormier's on his way out the door. I think it's going to be Stipe and Ngannou unless somebody else pops up. It's going to be Stipe and Ngannou. And that's going to be exciting to watch, to see how, if at all, Ngannou has evolved and is going to be able to beat the very, very tough, very savvy Stipe Miocic. I mean, Stipe is not an easy out for anybody, man. That guy's a tough guy. And there's always the potential, right, that John Jones goes up to heavyweight. But like somebody said earlier in the chat, I don't think John Jones goes to heavyweight. I don't think he goes to heavyweight if he knows that a guy like Ngannou's up there. Because if a guy like Ngannou touches John Jones, and he will touch him at some point, that fight is over. That fight is over. And if Ngannou swarms anybody like that and just happens to land a punch, man, the fight's over. It doesn't matter who the person is. That's the crazy part. Kevin from Chicago says, call in, Austin. Austin, you're welcome to call in. You guys can call in on Skype. Just look for FightersRep. We're there if you guys want to talk in person and have yourselves heard to the Knucklehead Nation audience here. Rob Iman. By the way, if you guys haven't hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next would join Knucklehead Nation. It's much appreciated. You'll be supporting the promotion and the channel. We do this constantly. We give you a forum to discuss the fights, and we love doing it with you guys. Rob Iman says, Peter Yan for the vacant belt. Dude, Peter Yan is a fucking beast, man. Peter Yan is a beast. Let me go back here. Jamaican said Tony literally lost his senses a couple times. That was a very good stoppage by Herb Dean. I agree with that. Austin Allen says, I like the stoppage too. Tony's kind of a guy that would die on his feet. I agree. He is the kind of guy, and I love that we're continuing the Tony's the kind of guy sort of, joke, that long-running joke. He is the kind of guy that would die on his feet, for sure. Daniel Allen says, Woodley versus Covington. The card was great, but it was weird without the crowd. It was a little bit weird. But I still really enjoyed it. Rob Iman says, Cater versus Rodriguez should be next. Hell yeah, dude. Cater has got some nasty hands, man. I love watching that guy throw hands. He looked really good tonight. Austin Allen says, I appreciate that, you guys. Not sure I have too much to say that I haven't already said in the chat. And I appreciate that, Austin. You guys obviously can, communicate in the chat. Or call in. It's a good option. I wanted to say before I continue that, again, we do have the fundraiser going. Besides being able to donate to us in the super chat or buy your FightersRep t-shirts and hoodies in the link below. They're really fucking dope. They got our line on them. Anything you buy or donate to the channel gets reinvested right back into the promotion. But we've also got a fundraiser happening right now to save the fight gyms. As you guys know, this pandemic is killing small businesses. And if you guys don't know, like I know as a fight promoter, all of these fighters come from small fight gyms, right? Even the biggest fight gym is a small business typically family owned, even the biggest fight gym. And they're not being bailed out right now. They're just not. They're going under. I'm in the mecca of combat sports in Southern California. I know 4 or 5 gyms off the top of my head that have already gone under. I know several that are in distress. And that's why I started the fundraiser. We've already collected almost $700. It's in the link below. Anything helps. $1, $2, $5, $20, whatever you want to give. You know, I really appreciate it. 100% of it is going to go straight to helping fight gyms pay their rent, to stay alive. Because all we got to do is keep them alive for like a month or two. And I think they'll be able to make it. But they're definitely in distress. So if you guys could donate to that, you know, the link will take you to the Facebook fundraiser page. You'll see all the people that have donated so far. Obviously, we thank them and shout them out when they donate. And anything else I can do for you guys within reason, I will. But we've raised over $600 so far in just the past 2 or 3 days. I want to get to $5,000. I've got 10 days as of right now to do so because it's already May 10th here in California. We just crossed midnight, so it's already May 10th. So, yeah, you know, anything you guys can donate to that cause, to my cause, it would mean a lot to me. And if you understand what the fight game does for fighters, you'll know how important this is. But anyway, knuckleheads, we've been on for almost 2 hours. I mean, that's all I've got for you guys. I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight. I ask that you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. You get your Fighters Rep t-shirts in the links below. Donate to the cause. And until next time, which will be Monday, keep it clean, knuckle.